Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. It is a beautiful day in the Lord. It is a beautiful day in the Lord, honey. And I'm going to tell you something. No matter what it look like, honey, be lifted in God. Just think of it as a feather. As a feather begin to fall from the sky, but the wind changes direction and lift that feather right back up, and that feather starts floating on, and floating on, and there go the wind carrying that feather. Think of that just like God, just carrying us along. We just like the feather. Be lifted, be light as the feather, honey. Don't cast your burdens to the Lord. Don't let nothing weigh you down. Don't let nothing hold you down. And I'm going to tell you another thing. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. I say it again. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That includes sickness. That includes anything, honey, because there's been some weapons that formed up against me, honey. But God carried me through just like I was that feather, honey. But see, I didn't know I was also doing the steering. I was messing up the sail. I had open it up, close it up, mess it all up, but God, God carried me on through for a time such as this, because I used to wonder why my husband, Brian, used to tell me, Jackie, when I filed my bankruptcy, I'm leaving you. And he also told me that now by this time I had put the down payment on 2 cars. And he told me that he was going to, he said, "What, nothing else you could do for me?" He said, "There's nothing else that you can do for me." And I used to wonder what that meant. I didn't understand, that I was married to a narcissist. And he was telling me that after I had my back accident, 2 herniated discs at my job, and I was out of work, he watched me crawl around the house cooking for him. He never offered to help me. He never offered to help me go to the grocery store. He watched me crawl out the house, sciatic nerve damage in my leg. He wouldn't assist me to do anything. And so when he saw that I couldn't go back to work, Social Security had put me on disability, when he saw that I couldn't go back to work, he actually told me, my husband told me, as I was disabled, he said, "There is nothing else you can do for me. There is nothing else you can buy for me." So I got to move on. That's what he was telling me. I'm saying, why is he saying this? I had never heard of a narcissist. So as I'm going on this journey right now, as we are going on this journey, now I understand the puzzle pieces are all fitting together. It's just like the cloud, the puzzle piece there, it's all fitting together. And now we got the Grow Program. No matter as the rain come down, as the rain pelts us, honey, because the rain is pelting me right now. But I can tell you one thing. It feel good in the rain right now. I can tell you I love you. As the rain comes down and my life also comes with the rain, is a beautiful breeze that whispers through my ears. As the rain pelts on down on me, honey, I use the rain to grow. See, I keep on walking forward. I keep on pressing on. I don't let nothing hold me back. I don't let nothing stop me. See, no matter what the weather is, no matter what the weatherman said the weather gonna be. See, I keep on going forth in God. I don't let the weather take my joy. I don't even let this take my joy. I don't even let that take my joy. Because it used to be a time when I did. It used to be a time when I sit and cry over the oppression. I sit and run to the oppression. I sit and worry about the oppression. You don't call folks up about the oppression, but the one thing that I didn't do was turn it over to God. But see, I learned how to do that. See, I learned how to turn it over to God. I learned how to walk, thus said the Lord. I learned how to grab the sod that God gave me. I learned how to line it up, you see. I learned how to sow the seeds of love. All around the world, just as the light of God shines, there I go shining the love. I'm going to shine the light, that love to you all around the world, because I want there to be the domino effect. I want us, as the world, to rise up from the oppression, to stop being the oppressors, because it don't matter what you get in this life, honey. You can't take it with you. You can't carry it with where you gonna take it to. You can ill-gotten gains. That's not right. In your heart what's right. See, that's why I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you something. Church is in the heart. Church is in the heart. Church ain't in your pocket. Church ain't in no building. You can say, I'm getting ready to start going back to church. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean you gonna forgive? Does that mean you gonna love? Does that mean you gonna pray it forward? Does that mean you gonna look out for your brothers and sisters? Does that mean you gonna rise up? Does that mean you gonna be a stumbling block? What does that mean? I'm getting ready to go back to church. Does that mean you getting ready to hide from God, but you gonna show out for the pastor? Is you gonna show out for your brother, man? Is you gonna show out for your sister, man? I'm telling you, it's time for us to look out for one another, honey. It's time for us to rise up as a people all around the world. Here we go forth in God each and every day. That is the love of God. That is the love that God taught us, because I'm going to tell you something. You want to talk about what Jesus said and Jesus did in Jesus' name, but I remember something. This is what Jesus said. Jesus said, forgive. Jesus taught to forgive, and he also taught love. See, he carried a heavy cross. He carried a very heavy cross, but here we grow in God. Now we want to say in Jesus' name, okay, then we supposed to be doing the same. We supposed to be carrying the cross. We keep going on the cross. Keep going on and on. On and on with the cross. Going on in love. Here we grow in God. We're supposed to be forgiven. Carry that cross of love, because I'm going to tell you something. You can play and show out here and pretend to be this and that and frown down on this and think you is the judge, honey. Ain't no judges on this earth. The judges are in the afterlife, and they gonna judge you too. Then you hear the word that said, judge not, yes, ye shall be judged. So look, we gonna get it right. We ain't gonna pick and choose. We gonna take the Bible and use it in righteousness. Use it the way it's supposed to be, so we can head on to genuine equality and righteousness. But we gotta be right first. We gotta sweep around our own doorstep. I heard my mama say that, I'm gonna tell you something about mama, Back in the day, honey, you sit up there and you could pretend like you didn't listen to their conversations, but we did, but we knew not to say nothing. But me and my cousin, we run around later on and laugh about that stuff. But see, my brother and them, they want to be funny with it. So when mama and them be talking, they sit up and say, ooh, and see, then they get popped in the mouth. But then that's something for us to laugh about. But look, but now we got the real good news, honey. And the real good news is the news of God, and that is love. That ain't none of your pocketbook, because God sent me a message to tell you he appreciates you trusting him with the money, but he wants your life, honey. Turn it over to God. Cast your cares unto him. Cast your burdens unto the Lord. That's what thus said the Lord, and pray it forward. It don't matter what. Show it out, show love in your family, because God's will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. We gonna keep on going forth in the Lord. each and every day. We gonna rise up as a people, different skin, one love, one God who created us. So here we grow in God. We can do this, people. We can come together. Stop being the oppressors, because I'm going to tell you something. As you think you are oppressing, you will be left behind. You either going to get left, or you going to get right or get left. You're going to get right or get left, because God's will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. So if you don't see what's really going on, I'm standing on some broad shoulders, my dear. I'm standing on some very broad shoulders. His dream is my dream. His dream is my dream. And I'm going to carry forth the dream of the great Dr. King. I'm going to carry forth the dream of the great Dr. King. So here we go, kings and queens, keepers of the dream. We rolling ahead full steam, carrying on the dream. So genuine equality and righteousness. That's the way it's going to be, kings and queens, and we're going to keep on going. Like I said, I'm standing on some very broad shoulders. So, if it's whether it be me or someone after me, God's will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. The message going to keep on going forward, just like it came from the freedom fighters. It came through their music. It came through their marches. It came through their songs. It came through their writings. It came through their poetry. It came any kind of way that thus said the Lord, the message is going to go through, because I knew you from the time you were born. And God chose those messengers, whether Caucasian, African, or whatever color they were. Because we had civil rights, every different color race was a face of the civil rights movement. Every different color race. Because as a world, we all are living under oppression that affects us directly or indirectly. But now what we got to do is stop focusing on it. We got to move towards love, because love, not hate, will make the world great. Love, not hate, will make the world great. Love, not hate, will make the world great. So that's what we got to focus on. We got to sow love everywhere you grow. Sow love in your marriage. Sow love on the job. Sow love with the kids. Here, I'm going to give you some side. That's throw the seeds of love everywhere you grow, all around, anywhere you grow. Who you come in contact with, just act like you work in customer service and talk to somebody like how you want to be talked to. That's easy to do. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Just like Michael Jackson said, I'm pressing forth the message of love. Here we grow. So we all, to tell you the truth, we all, every single one of us stands on broad shoulders. Every single one of us needs to be the change. Because if we all be the change, then there we all grow. When one rise, lift another one up. And then we all rise. Go ahead and be the change. Rise to reach your greatness, because when you get to the kingdom, God gonna look at you and say, what did you do? There are some soul catchers waiting. What did you do? They already know, honey. Just like it's evil spirits on this earth, is also good spirits on this earth. And they already know, they already watching. That's how they got me up out the spiritual warfare, so I can tell you to beware. Stop falling for the traps and the setups. Stop falling, because the spiritual warfare is trying to take you up out of here. So I'm here with the warning. I'm here with the message. It's time to go. It's time to grow, kings and queens. Let's rise all over the world. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. I want you to know that. I want you to know that I love you. Be lifted. Be light as a feather. Begin to eat better. Begin to think of yourself better. You are royalty. You are better than this. We are better than our environment. We are better than what we have become. As a world, drive this hate out. We all know how to love. Different skin, one love, one God who created us. And in the end, God is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, and who you will answer to. It don't matter your money, your status, your wealth. When you get ready to go to the kingdom, you got to answer, honey. I know for a fact. Cause see, I done been in touch with the spirit world. That's how I done got this movement going from a haunted house to you. And here we grow. You know, still rolling on, still here we grow. Number 45, that's Israel. You know, welcome to Grow Israel. God bless you. You know, keep on growing, keep on sowing. You know, I love you. I see you. You know, Portugal, China. You know, I see you, Japan. I see you growing, Russia. You know, I see you, Pennsylvania. You know, just keep on growing in God. You know, I want to just give shout outs to all of you. You know, United States. You know, I love you. I love you, United States. I never felt really attached to you. You know, even as a child, something wasn't right. Something was missing. I never felt attached. And now I know what it is. You know, I'm really not from here. You know, my ancestors were kidnapped and brought over here. You know, even though United States, I will always have love for you. You know, even as I was in the military, running with that rifle, because I found out I didn't want to be in the military. But he made me run with that rifle anyway. And that he drummed that song in my head, and I'll never forget the words of it. I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Because it ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA, yes. You know, but at the same time, I got to remember the motherland. I got to remember where I came from. I got to remember the bloodshed that my ancestors left on this land. You know, the 2 months it took for the ship to bring them over here. I got to think about the motherland that's languishing and suffering over there. You know, so I got to show love, honey. I got to turn around because, yes, I'm African-American, red, white, and blue. I support you, Macy Gray, red, white, and blue, but I'm red, white, and African too. You know, so I'm going to tell you something. An African-American, I'm African first. You know, I'm African first. And I'm proud to be African, you know, as my motherland languishes, you know, because of evil and corruption. But we getting ready to get it together. It's getting ready to be a whole new worldview of Africa, honey. I guarantee you. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. Africa is where it all began. That's where all life came from. I love you. Let's rise.